Okay, the meeting of the Board of Education is now called to order. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome, everybody. Our first order of business is to approve our agenda on page 2. Is there a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the agenda as printed.
Thank you. Terry, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We'll get started with our agenda, and we'll start with the superintendent's report.
All right. So first of all, thank you everyone for being here tonight. Usually the bond project update goes to our Assistant Superintendent of Operations, and Russ started officially last Monday. And I think it would be unfair for him to try to get up and provide a bond project update. He is getting himself acclimated to our district, and we're trying to do a nice handoff. So I'm going to handle the bond project update since I'm a little more closely aligned with some of the work. More specifically, last Tuesday, our teachers at Central L and Haverhill returned to their new buildings for some on-site professional development and work. That was the teachers' first opportunity to see in the new school since the spring. And obviously, we walked into the building with lots of smiles and also lots of dust and cleaning, and things are still occurring. So I'll give a general update which will comprise of both schools. If you were to enter either site, you can see that work is still being done on the exterior related to the parking lot. All the concrete and sidewalks, for the most part, have been installed. There's one exception at Central L where they're still working on a walkway to be installed. Parking lots are in both schools. The parking lots have been lined. In a regular scenario, we would want those parking lots to be unbothered for 30 days. It allows the lines to stay on. So there's the opportunity that maybe next summer we may have to come back and repaint the lines because we don't have the ability for that parking lot to sit for 30 days in this scenario. But teachers have been in their classrooms and their spaces beyond the professional development. They've been unboxing and prepping their classrooms. Officially, teachers return tomorrow, but we worked out an agreement with our association for those teachers at Central and Haverhill specifically to come back on Tuesday before their official start date. Both principals have been working with their secretaries as well as their entire building for all the different rules and regulations related to the opening. We are passing all of our inspections as we go. We still have an inspection related to the health code that's going to occur for the schools tomorrow or so. But all looks well. Tomorrow starts our open houses for our elementary schools, specifically Central and Haverhill. Woodland, because you know it's on the same campus as Haverhill, their open house will be on Wednesday night, and that is so that we don't have families from both schools on the site at the same time. Teachers have also been able to return at Woodland, which is at the old Haverhill, and they've been unboxing their boxes as well, prepping for the first day of school. So we are truly excited for the first day. We're really excited for these open houses tomorrow. And then obviously in the coming weeks will be ribbon cuttings or grand openings for both buildings. And I think those will occur prior to our next board meeting, if I'm not mistaken. So I just want the public and the board to know we'll be doing those official ribbon cuttings. And last but not least, this is my first official opening week. And on Thursday is our opening day for our staff. We will kick off at Portage Central High School in the auditorium at approximately 8:15 with the Portage Central Band. And we have a nice speaker coming in who speaks all over the country. I'll host a meet and greet for staff at 3 o'clock in the lobby or the Welcome Center. And then at 6 p.m. on Thursday, I'll host a community meet and greet at the Portage Zang Senior Center. All are welcome to attend, parents, students, community members. And we're looking forward to a fun and festive week. So So that concludes my superintendent report for the bond and some other items. So I'll be happy to answer any questions of the board.
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting. And next up is an update on our summer programs. Michelle Karpinski will give us an overview of what we offered this summer.
Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Edwards. Still getting used to saying that. Before I get into this year's just update about our summer camp programs, I just wanted to give you a little background. Probably for the last 3 or 4 years now, maybe 3 or 4, we have made an effort to consolidate the summer camp programs, and community relations has facilitated things like registration, marketing, helping the coaches with their flyers and that sort of thing. And the purpose of that was to really, first of all, relieve them from that kind of additional work so they could concentrate on coaching. And for those of you who've been around for a while, you probably can remember the crumpled up papers coming home with, summer camp information, and you sent the check back hoping it got there. So this eliminates that because we've been able to do online registration right up to the day of camp. We're able to facilitate t-shirts with sizes and everything, and so we finally, it took a few years of kind of testing it out here, but I think we finally got it dialed in this year. So I just wanted to give you a little update on where we were this year. So summer camps ran from June through August. We did not have any camps the week of the 4th of July, and that's pretty typical. We don't usually have any activities around the district then. It's kind of a dead week. We offered 53 distinct sessions for just over 2,000 students served. Mostly they're Portage students. The camps are open to any student, but typically because a lot of these are like feeder camps for our athletics, mostly it's Portage students. We don't really have statistics on that, but just from our experience. We served all the ages from K through 12, and we brought in just under $100,000 in revenues. So these are all the different camps we had, baseball, basketball, cheerleading, football, soccer, all of those. And then in addition to that, we hosted 3 Portage Education Foundation choices. From the Air Zoo, there was an art camp, and the K-RISA Future Meet. We did those at 12th Street during the same time that summer learning was happening. One of the real highlights of the summer was the Learn to Swim camp. That's been something we've really been trying to figure out, how we get more kids into the pool. And so our swim coach offered Learn to Swim for a week this summer. And at the end of that week, she came into the office and she's like, "Can I add another camp? This was so popular. Can I do another one?" And we're like, "Yeah, but we want to have time to market it." She's like, "I can fill it." So we worked with facilities and everything, and so we filled 2 Learn to Swim camps instead of just 1, and so they were very successful. And the cool thing about these camps is a lot of times it's our older students who are actually assisting the coaches with the younger students, so you get a really good connection there. So Learn to Swim was a real highlight this year, and there's some of the kids floating around here. Portage Education camps. Mark, you'll correct me if anything's wrong here, but the ones on campus here, they offered numerous ones throughout the community, but the ones we did here in Portage ran June 16th through July 17th. At 12th Street, there were 8 sessions. I mentioned the zoo, art, K-RISA. Those camps are free, offered by the Portage Education Foundation with just a $10 kind of fee just to cover some of the overhead expenses for the registration and that kind of stuff. And then I was notified by PEF this year that this is the last year. Are you doing them at all? No. So this is the last year for the Portage STEP camps, which have been going on for many years. I don't know how many before I was here, so at least 10 years. And I think, things run their course, and I think the PAF has said they've got other priorities they want to focus on. So we'll continue to offer the sports camps, and honestly, if there was a coach or teacher who wanted to offer a different kind of camp as well, they certainly would be able to do that through us. We start going just after the beginning of the year. We get proposals in. Really, it's all up to the coaches on what they want to do, and we just facilitate the registrations and the marketing and all of that. So I think it's really been working well. And if you have any other questions, there's just a few other shots from our camps this summer. Be happy to answer them.
Thanks for the update, Michelle.
Sure.
Nice to know what was going on here. There's a lot of stuff. Thank you. Thank you. We'll now move to our comments and communications section. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? And we have one person, Diana Smith. Welcome. That'd be great.
I'm not a public speaker.
Sorry. Don't worry about
I'm the
it.
one that does that.
You're good.
Okay. The Portage District School Board. My name is Dinah Smith. To those that don't know me, I'm a mother of 3 Portage Northern graduates, 2010, 12, and 16. I'm a current resident of Portage Public Schools District, and I'm the former Portage Northern High School varsity tennis coach for both the men's and women's tennis teams. I have been involved with the tennis teams at Portage Northern in some capacity since the fall of 2006, except for a couple years when I was in California helping my mom care for my mom when she was sick. When my eldest was a freshman on the varsity team, I came in 2006. I have been the varsity assistant coach, junior varsity coach, and then the varsity coach from 2019 until my retirement after the men's season in the fall of 2023. I still help out both teams as a volunteer when asked. I've been involved in tennis since I was about 5. As an adult, I played USTA leagues, was a member of the Midwest Intersectional team, captain of many 4-5 travel teams, served on the USTA League Committee, and in 2003, my mother and I won the Indoor Nationals and were ranked #1 in the country. I've been a tower official at the Boys Nationals, site director at conference and regional tournaments, and worked many MSH AA state tournaments, and just recently received the Community Service Award from the Boys National Tennis Tournaments. As you can see, I've been around tennis a lot. I just have one question for you. When will the bathrooms and any water facilities be put at Northern tennis courts? The only school that I can think of that do not have bathrooms is Battle Creek Central. All the other schools that I have traveled to or played at in my career, there's at least one bathroom. I've been told for years that it is in the works. I thought I would come down tonight and tell you personally the necessity for these things. Many of you, and maybe all of you, are not aware that there's not even a drinking fountain at the tennis courts anymore. When the courts were built, I believe in 2008, a very nice one was built at the same time. Unfortunately, middle schoolers thought it was a great fun to stick lunchbox drink straws in the holes, but for the most part, it worked fine. When it stopped working in the spring one year, the way it was supposed to, and water was shooting out, it was turned off. The next school year, in asking the construction workers when it might be repaired, I was told it would never be repaired since the water line came from the old middle school. And when that closed, we could no longer get water. When the old middle school was there, we were able to go in and use the bathrooms when needed after school. During tournaments on the weekend, we would go and open the soccer bathrooms that were available over closer to Millam for people to use. When they decided to build the new middle school, I wrote to every current board member at the time asking if they would please put in bathrooms that we could access during practices and especially tournaments. Have an access from the outside, lock the doors to the school so no one could access the school. Several schools have this when we travel. Okemos High School comes to mind. We got nothing. Actually, we got less than nothing. We no longer had a drinking fountain, and we get to use porta potties for bathrooms. Not sure if you know this, but some of our tournaments go for 10 to 12 hours at a time. And as a coach, you never get to leave because you usually have somebody on the tennis court at some point in time during those hours. You don't get a break. Lucky me, I got to use porta potties all day, along with my players, parents, spectators, and players from other schools. Tomorrow I'm helping out the PC tennis team, and I'm the site director of the Portage Northern courts for the Portage Central Tennis Tournament. I get to use porta potties, lucky me. Some things you may not be aware of about the porta potties, not ADA accessible. Over the years I've coached, there have been 3 wheelchair players from other schools. Wheelchair accessible tennis is growing and it is wonderful for those who play. Where do they get to go? What about spectators? You get the idea. There is no running water. That's right, nobody gets to wash their hands. If you're lucky, there might be some hand sanitizer, but you can't wash your hands. So for everybody on the school board, please go tomorrow for 12 hours and never wash your hands. Feminine hygiene. Don't think you all need a lecture on feminine hygiene, but remember, you can't wash your hands. Can't maybe clean a uniform. You get the picture. You also can't change your clothes in the bathroom. Over the years, I've had several students with underlying health issues, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, with porta potties. The issue of the water is not a want, but a need. Since they took the water away, the trainer brings out a large Gatorade cooler of water. Just this past week, I was helping out on the first day of sports with the men's team, and the trainer was not able to get to the water out to the courts until 5:15. We started at 4. Rightly so, she was busy with football, putting a player into an ambulance. The heat overwhelmed a player so badly that an ambulance was called. Do you realize that the tennis courts are hotter than the football field? They'll come and register the heat index at the courts before they go anywhere else. Granted, we do not play with helmet and pads, but we play on hot asphalt court. No water was available for the kids to replenish the water they brought. Luckily, I had a case in my car and brought it to those that needed it. But what if I wasn't there? What if I didn't have it? We actually ended up having to stop our challenge matches because the heat index rose above 104 degrees. So those challenge matches that were being played were somewhere between probably 95 degrees and 103 until we had to stop. That means these kids are out there with no water in this heat. That is not the only time. Trainers have had family emergencies, been sick, etc., and not been at school that day. We get no water. I also know that when we are not the only ones using the jug of water that comes out. Later last week, the men's coach told me that the marching band was coming over to help use the water because they don't have water accessible. We've also had tournaments where we have run out of water. Luckily, a parent has gone to get some, but what if there isn't a parent? My first year I coached the boys team, there were only 2 parents that came to matches, and I was one of them. Portage Central is lucky in that their tennis courts are next to the stable, the auxiliary gym at PC, so that they have bathrooms to use. In the past several years, we've had North Middle School, Portage Northern Auditorium, and 2 very large pole buildings. I believe they are storage units for the drama department built around the tennis courts, but no bathrooms or drinking water for the tennis team. Here's the thing with the tennis team. We don't get much attention. We don't squeak the wheel. Are you aware since 2006, when I first began here at Northern, we've had 3 state champions, 2 state finalists, which is 2nd place, about 6 state semifinalists. Every season, we make all-state academic. And I would say 75% of the time, the seniors make all-state academic since it was incorporated, which I fought many years for to have. Those that don't make it are usually those that take honor classes or CAMSI kids, but the Coaches Association does not allow weighted grades. In all my years of coaching, I've only had 1 player become academically ineligible. I'm here tonight to squeak the wheel. I think these kids are the cream of the crop, and I think they deserve a bathroom and water. Thank you.
Diana, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have a copy of your remark?
You may have this.
That would be great. Our board secretary?
Yeah. Oh, I've got it at home.
No, but I'll scan it.
Oh. Thank you.
Well, thank you for shining a light on this issue, and thank you for your continued involvement with Portage Tennis. We appreciate that. That's a long commitment. Thank
It's a
you.
great sport.
For sure. Thank you.
One of your guys' kids on my team.
Thanks for speaking. Okay, we'll move to comments by board trustees.
From me, Randy, just a quick comment of thanks for our special meeting tonight. It was a closed session, so I won't speak extensively about it, but it was a really good discussion from all colleagues on the board and the superintendent on that, so appreciate that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just have a quick comment. I wanted to just let the board know that Terry and I received an email from a parent, whose kids have graduated. She was a volunteer in the Husky Helper program with us at Portage Northern, and she let us know that there was a day of learning on anti-Semitism that was hosted by the Michigan Department of Education, the ADL, and Brandeis University, and another organization called Boundless. And the purpose was to share resources and best practices with school administrators, teachers, anyone involved in education, and it was free. So I had a free Thursday, I went over to LCC, and it was really interesting, and there was a lecture on anti-Semitism and how it came about, over the years. It was very detailed. And they really provided everybody with the knowledge and tools and resources to just ensure that our schools are inclusive environments, whether it's for students that are Jewish or kids of color or whatever, and how to create safe spaces. And the Michigan Department of Education has a link on their website and a student organizational group that has been working for years on that. Dr. Rice did one of the beginning speeches, and he was there all day. And it culminated with the presentation of 3 high school students who've been involved in his Student Success Program over the years, and they have posted their document online that anyone can use and provide some guidance from their experience and their years talking with kids in other schools all over the state. So it was quite worthwhile. So I appreciate that somebody reached out and let us know what was happening.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening?
Well, welcome back, everybody, after a light summer, and we're just getting excited about school starting and new person in charge here, and we can't wait to see and hear your speeches on Thursday.
I'm looking forward to interacting with teachers on Thursday and seeing their excitement at being back.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to our consent agenda. On page 5, we just have minutes this evening. Our consent agenda is to approve the minutes of the July 21st, 2025 special meeting, regular business meeting, and closed session, and the August 7th, 2025 special meeting. Are there any exceptions to the consent agenda as presented? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. And we can move to our first action item, which is on page 12, to approve the nursing services contract. I believe Brad's going to explain that to us.
Yes. Good evening, Superintendent Edwards, trustees, good to be with you again. I will try and make this as quick as possible. So, here again to talk about nursing services and asking a renewal again for with Health Bar LLC to provide nursing services to the Portage Public Schools. So I think most of you would recall we have been using Health Bar LLC for the last 3 years, so this will be year 4 with them. And we have 3 nurses through Health Bar that work in all of our different buildings. So we have a different schedule worked out with them where they're in every building at least once per week. And they provide not only on-hand assistance with students when they're there, but also put our systems together really well, making sure that we have all the right medication tracking, all of those kind of things. And they're really good at their training as well. They love training our staff. They do in-services for us and all kinds of different things. So we're recommending that we renew with Health Bar for a 4th year. I will let the board know, Dr. Gordon and I have already kind of started conversations around looking at, is this the best model for us moving forward as well? So we may bring a different model forward in future years, but we want to maintain the consistency right now and keep Health Bar on for now.
Any questions for Brad? Very good. There's a motion, please, on page 12 to approve the contract.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve as presented renewing the contract for nursing services between Portage Public Schools and Health Bar LLC in the amount of $320,616 using funding from 31AA for the 2025-26 school year.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you, Kimberly. All in favor of approving the nursing services contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. The contract is approved. Brad again for the new teacher appointments.
You're sick of me again, so here we are. So, as promised last month, when I brought the giant list of teacher recommendations for your approval, I said there will be a smaller one next month. Here we are. And I will tell you, I will be here again in September with another list because I have people I have hired since I published this list that will come to you next month as well. But again, we have been working hard, so compliments to the principals and my HR team for getting people in. Just to give you an example, we had some internal shifting happening. So we had a third grade opening that we posted last Wednesday. We offered the job this morning. We had the acceptance letter in hand a half hour after extending the job offer verbally, and that new teacher will be in her classroom for open house Wednesday night, because that's at one of the Wednesday night buildings. So we are working feverishly to make sure we get our teacher openings filled. As I walked in this morning, we had one opening because we did get declined by a candidate that we had. I had a resignation waiting in my email this morning from a non-classroom teacher, so we won't have a classroom empty because of that, but it is a member of our teaching staff that we will have to backfill. So we had that job already posted and out. And so, yeah, the work will truly never stop, but here we are. So I ask the board for approval for these folks here.
Very good, Brad. We better get these people in place.
Want them here.
Yeah, there's a motion, please, on page 14.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the appointment of the following teachers for Portage Public Schools. Monica Violante, Engagement Specialist, Angling Road Elementary. Justin Rose, French teacher, Central High and Central Middle Schools. Faith Dennis, first grade teacher, Angling Road Elementary. Jessica Folkert, music teacher, Angling Road Elementary. Christopher Enders, math teacher, Northern High.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thanks, Mark. All those in favor of approving the new teacher appointments, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The new teacher appointments are approved. And we'll now move to action item number 3, a new administrator appointment.
All right, and once again, board, as promised last month, we have another administrator. This is backfilling to some extent with Dr. Gordon. So when Dr. Gordon was promoted, we had an internal shift from our Vicksburg supervisor, Katie Webster, has taken the secondary supervisor role here in Portage. So we needed to backfill that one. So this is the one for that. So as you'll recall, Portage provides the special ed administration for the southern service area. So not only here in Portage, but also Vicksburg Community Schools and Schoolcraft Community Schools. So for the last 2 or 3 years now, we have had full-time supervisors at both Schoolcraft and Vicksburg. So Elizabeth Eves, she goes by Liz, will be the new administrator for Vicksburg Community Schools. So most recently, she was briefly with KRISA, but prior to that was down in St. Joe County, started as an occupational therapist, but was a special education supervisor and a building principal down there for the ISD. So Liz graduated from Central Michigan University and obtained her master's in occupational therapy from Western Michigan University and her ed specialist degree from Western Michigan University, at which time she got her special ed certification as well. So I'm excited to have Liz joining us. Unfortunately, Liz had a pre-scheduled trip out of town for tonight, so she couldn't join us here, so we'll have to meet her at a different time.
Thanks, Brad. I think we should approve her anyway.
Hope so.
There's a motion, please, on page 16.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the appointment of the following administrator for Portage Public Schools for the 2025-26 school year. Elizabeth Eves, Supervisor for Educational Supports and Intervention for the Southern Service Area of KRISA.
Thank you, Terry. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the new administrator appointment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed. The new administrator is approved. Our next item is school meal prices for 25-26. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Ed and Superintendent Edwards. I have to get used to saying that, so I don't mess that up. Included in your board packet this time around is pricing for student breakfast and lunch for next year. As you are aware, we do not have an approved budget from the state yet for our state aid package, and breakfast and lunch is currently free through the end of September. October 1 starts the state's new budget year. I am bringing you tonight meal prices as a precautionary measure in the event that it's not included in the state budget if it's passed by the time we start school. The last time I came to the board for lunch price approval was summer of 2022 for the 22-23 school year. So over the last 2 years, they have been free, and we have not had to do this component formality with them. One thing I do want to bring to the board's attention, we have to revert back to gathering applications for families for meal pricing. And we have, as a decision we have made as the exec team and talking with Susan, anybody that does qualify for reduced pricing, we will grant them the free option, and the food service fund will cover the difference between that. So we did offer this a few years ago as well, and I think it would really benefit our students. So
It's a good thing. Great.
any questions that I might be able to answer, or rely on Susan for additional?
When will the budget be passed? What's the foundation allowance?
My crystal ball's not big enough. I have no idea. Thank you.
There's a motion to approve the school meal prices on page 18, please.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the student meal prices for the 2025-26 school year as presented.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the school meal prices for 25-26, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The meal prices are approved. And our last item of business is a discussion item, excuse me, the MSB Delegate Assembly Representatives. It's that time of year again. You know, for people going to the annual Fall Leadership Conference, this is an opportunity to serve late into the evening. I don't know if anybody is going to the annual Fall Leadership Conference, but you have until August 29th to register to get the best rates possible. So anyway, I am planning to be there, and I am planning to be a delegate to the Representative Assembly. So if there's anybody else who is interested, have Barb sign you up to attend the conference, and you can be an alternate for the Delegate Assembly. Sounds good, doesn't it? Now, the good thing is, this is in Traverse City this year. It's not in Lansing, where it's been the past few, so a little nicer dig. So anyway, let us know. We'll be approving this shortly. So with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. And with that, that means we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
How's it going? Good.